Hi guys, I'm going to read you Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So let's get started. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, a novel in cartoons. Over 250 million books sold. By Jeff Kinney. To Mom, Dad, Ray, Scott, and Patrick. September, Tuesday. First of all, let me get something straight. This is a journal, not a diary. I know what it says on the cover, but when Mom went out to buy this thing, I specifically told her to get one that didn't say diary on it. Great. All I need is for some jerk to catch me carrying this book around and get the wrong idea. CC punch. The other thing I want to clear up right away is that this was Mom's idea, not mine. But if she thinks I'm going to write down my feelings in her here or whatever, she's crazy. So just don't expect me to be all Dear Diary this and Dear Diary that. The only reason I agreed to do this at all is because I figure later on when I'm rich and famous I'll have better things to do than answer people's stupid questions all day long. So this book is gonna come in handy. Gregory, tell us about your childhood. Were you always so smart and handsome? Flash. Here's my journal. Now shoo. Like I said, I'll be famous one day, but for now I'm stuck in middle school with a bunch of morons. Let me just say for the record that I think middle school is the dumbest idea ever invented. You got kids like me who haven't hit their growth spurt yet mixed in with these gorillas who need to shave twice a day. Out of my way, runts. And then they wonder why bullying is such a big problem in middle school. If it was up to me, grade levels would be based on height, not age. But then again, I guess that would mean kids like Chirag Gupta would still be in the first grade. Today is the first day of school, and right now we're just waiting around for the teacher to hurry up and finish the sitting chart. So I figured I might as well write in this book to pass the time. By the way, let me give you some good advice. On the first day of school, you got to be real careful where you sit. You walk into the classroom and just plunk your stuff down and on any old desk, and the next thing you know, the teacher is saying, I hope you all like where you're sitting because these are your current seats. Gah. So in this class I got stuck with Chris Halsey in front of me and Lionel James in back of me. Jason Brew came in late and almost sat to my right, but luckily I stopped that happening at that last second. Is this seat taken? Yes. Next period, I should just sit in the middle of a bunch of hot girls as soon as I step in the room. But I guess if I do that, it just proves I didn't learn anything from last year. Gerg, will you please pass a note to Shelley? Gerg is a dork. Why? Certainly. Man, I don't know what is up with girls these days. It used to be a whole lot simpler back in elementary school. The deal was if you are the fastest runner in your class, you got all the girls. And in the 5th grade, the fastest runner was Ronnie McCoy. Nowadays, it's a whole lot more complicated. Now it's about the kind of clothes you wear, how rich you are, or if you have a cute butt or whatever. And kids the Ronnie McCoy are scratching their heads wondering what the heck happened. The most popular boy in my grade is Bryce Anderson. The thing that really stinks is that I have always been into girls, but kids like Bryce have only come around in the last couple of years. I remember how Bryce used to act back in elementary school. Girls are stinky poos. Yeah, I don't think girls are stinky poos. But of course, now I don't get any credit for sticking with the girls all this time. Like I said, Bryce is the most popular kid in our grade, so that leaves all the rest of us guys scrambling for the other spots. The best I figure is that I'm somewhere around 15th or 53rd, 52nd or 53rd most popular this year. But the good news is that I'm about to move up one spot. Charlie Davis is above me, and he's getting his brace next week. I try to explain more popular stuff to my friend Roy, who is hovering right around the 150 mark, by the way, but I think it just goes in one ear and out the other with him. Wednesday. Today we has PHYS ED, so the first thing I did when I got outside was sneak off to the basketball court to see if the cheese was still there. And sure enough, it was that piece of cheese has been sitting on the blacktop since last spring. I guess it must drop out of someone's sandwich or something. After a couple of days, the cheese started getting all moldy and nasty. Nobody would play basketball on the court where the cheese was. Even thought that was the only court had a hoop with a net. Then one day, the kid named Darren Wolf touched the cheese with his finger, and that's what started this thing called the cheese touch. It's basically the cooties. If you get the cheese touch, you're stuck with it until you pass it on to someone else. The only way to protect yourself from cheese touch is cross your fingers. Yeah, cheese touch. But it's not that easy remembering to keep your finger crossed every moment of the day. I ended up tapping mine together so they stayed crossed all the time. I got D in handwriting, but it was totally worth it. This one kid named Abe Hall got the cheese touch in April, and nobody would even come hear him for the rest of the year. This summer, Abe moved away to California and took the cheese touch with him. I just hope someone doesn't start the cheese touch up again, because I don't need that kind of trash in my life anymore. Thursday. I'm having a seriously hard time getting used to the fact that summer is over and I have to get out of my bed every morning to go to school. My summer did not exactly get off to a great start thanks to my older brother Roderick. A couple of days into summer vacation, Roderick woke me up in the middle of the night. He told me I slept through the whole summer, but that luckily I woke up just in time for the first day of school. Shoot. You might think I was pretty dumb for falling for that one, but Roderick was dressed up in his school clothes and he set my alarm clock ahead to make it look like it was the morning. Plus, he closed my curtains so I couldn't see that it was still dark out. After Roderick wake me up, I just got dressed and went downstairs to myself some breakfast like I do every morning on a school day. But I guess I must have made a pretty record because the next thing I knew, Dad was downstairs yelling at me for eating Cheerios at 3 a.m. in the morning. It took me a minute to figure out what the heck was going on. After I did, I told Dad that Roderick had played a trick on me and he was the only one that should be getting yelled at. Dad walked down to the basement to Roderick out, and I tagged along. I couldn't wait to see Roderick get what was coming to him. But Roderick covered up his tracks pretty good, and to this day, I'm sure Dad thinks I've got a screw loose or something. Friday. Today at school we got assigned to reading groups. They don't come right out and tell you if you're in the gifted group or the easy group. But you can figure it out right away by looking at the covers of the books they have handed out. It was pretty disappointing to find out I got put in the gifted group because that just means a lot of extra work. When they did the screening at the end of the last year, I did my best to ensure I got put in the easy group this year. Fred picked up the Bee. The book. B. The book. Phew, thanks. Mom is real tight with our principal, so I'll bet the step in out and made sure I got put in the gift group again. Mom is always saying I'm a smart kid, but that I just wouldn't aptly myself. But if there's one thing I learned from Roderick, it's to set people's expectation real low so you end up surprising them by practically doing nothing at all. Roderick, I want you dirty underwear off the kitchen table before I get home from work. Grant. Later. Actually, I'm kind of glad my plan to get put in the easy group didn't work. I saw a couple of the Binks Boo kids holding their books upside down, and I don't think they were joking. Saturday, will the first week of school is finally over, so today I slept in. Most kids wake up early on Saturday to watch cartoons or whatever, but not me. The only reason I get out of bed at all on weekends is because eventually I can't stand the taste of my own breath anymore. Smack, smack. Unfortunately, Dad wakes up at 6 a.m. in the morning, no matter what day of the week it is. And he is not real conditioning of the fact that I am trying to enjoy my Saturday like a normal person. I didn't have anything to do today, so I just headed up to Royley's house. Royley is technically my best friend, but that is definitely subject to change. I've been avoiding Royley since the first day of the school, when he did something that really annoyed me. We were getting our stuff from our lockers and at the end of the day, and Royley came up to me and said, "Want to come over to my house and play?" I have told Royley at the last a billion times that now that we're in middle school, you're supposed to say hang out, not play. But no matter how many noogies I give him, he always forgets the next time. I've been trying to be a lot more careful about my imagination ever since I got to middle school, but having Royley about is definitely not helping. I met Royley a few years ago when he moved into my neighborhood. His mom bought him the book called How to Make Friends in New Places, and he came to my house trying on this dumb chemicals. Knock, knock, demos, knock, knock, Dremos, excuse me. Dremos be some way to tickle your funny bone. Say what? I guess I kind of felt sorry for Royley, and I decided to take him under my wing. It's been great having him around, mostly because I get to use all the tricks Roderick pulls on me. Did you know that if your hand is bigger than your face, it's a sign of low and grandchildren? Really? Ha, gotcha! Whap! But do I have low instruction? Let me check again. Monday. You know how I said I play all sorts of pranks on Royley? Well, I have a little brother named Manny, and I could never get away with pulling any of that stuff on him. Mom and Dad protect Manny like he's a prince of something, and he never gets in trouble, even if he really deserves it. Yesterday, Manny drew a self-portrait on my bedroom door in permanent marker. I thought Mom and Dad were really going to let him have it, but as usual, I was wrong. Aww. But the thing that bugs me the most about Manny is the nickname he had for me. When he was a baby, he couldn't pronounce my brother, so he started calling me Bubby, and he still calls me that now, even so I keep trying to get Mom and Dad to make him stop. Luckily, none of my friends have found out yet, but believe me, I have had some really close calls. Hey, this one says it's to Bubby. Must be a mistake. Mom makes me help Manny get ready for school in the morning. After I make Manny his breakfast, he carries his cereal bowl with him into the family room and sits on his plastic potty. C is for Cookie and Cookie is for me. Ha! And when it's time for him to go to the daycare, he gets up and dumps wherever he did it right in the toilet. Mom is always getting on me about not finishing my breakfast. But if she had to scrape corn flakes and of the bottom of the plastic potty every morning, she wouldn't have much of any appetite. Tuesday, don't know if I mentioned this before, but I am super good at video games. I'll bet I could beat anyone in my grandpa to hug. Unfortunately, Dad does not appreciate my skills. He's always getting on me about going out and doing something active. So tonight after dinner, when Dad started hassling me about going inside, I tried to explain how with video games you can play sports like football and soccer and you don't even get all hot and sweaty. But as usual, Dad didn't see my logic. Dad is pretty smart guy in general, but when it comes to common sense, sometimes I wonder about him. Slam. I'm sure Dad would dismantle my game system if he figured out how to do it. But luckily, the people who made these things made them proof. Thank now, but this fancy gadgets. Every time Dad kicks me out of the house to do something sporty, I just go up to Rose and play my video games there. Unfortunately, the only games I can play at Rose are car racing games and stuff like that, because whenever I bring a game up to Rolly's house, his dad looks up on some parents' website, and if my game has any kind of fighting or violence in it, he wouldn't let us play. I'm getting a little sick of playing Formula 1 racing with Rory because he's not a serious gamer like me. All that you have to do to beat Rory is name your car something ridiculous at the beginning of the game. And then when you pass Rory's car, he just falls to pieces. That far ahead. Wow. Anyway, after I got done mopping the floor with Rory today, I headed home and I ran through the neighbor's sprinkler a couple times to make it look like I was all sweaty, and that seemed to do the trick for Dad. Whew. But my trick kind of backfired because as soon as Mom saw me, she made me go upstairs and take a shower. Wednesday. I guess Dad must have been pretty happy with himself for making me go south yesterday because he did it again today. It's getting really annoying to have to up Royals every time. I want to play a video game. There's this weird kid named Freddie who lives halfway between my house and Royals. And Freddie is always hanging out in his front yard, so it's pretty hard to avoid him. When I see my secret freckle, no thanks. Freddie is in my PHYSED class at school, and he has this whole made-up language like when he needs to go to the restroom, he says, "Juice, juicy, juice, juice." Us have us kids have pretty much figured frankly about by now, but I don't think the teachers have really caught up yet. Okay, kid, gee whiz. Yeah, probably. Today I probably would have gone up to Royals on my own anyway because my brother Roddick and his band were practicing on down in this basement. Roddick's band is really awful and I can't stand being home when they're having results. His band is called Loaded Diaper. Only it's spelled Loaded Diaper on Roddick's band. You might think he spelled it that way to look cool, but I bet if you told Roddick how Loaded Diaper is really spelled, it would be news to him. That was a James to the idea of Roderick starting a band, but Mom was all for it. She's the one who bought Roderick his first drum set. I think Mom has this idea that we're all going to learn to play instruments and then become one of those family bands like you see on TV. Dad really hates heavy metal. And that's the kind of music Roderick and his band play. I don't think Mom really cares what Roderick plays or listens to because to her all music is the same. In fact, earlier today Roderick was listening to one of his CDs in the family room and Mom came and started dancing. That really bugged Roderick, so he drove off to the store and came back 15 minutes later with some headphones, and then pretty much took care of his problem. Yesterday Roderick got a new heavy metal CD, and it had one of those parental warning stickers on it. I have never gotten listened to one of those parental warning CDs because Mom and Dad never let me buy them at the mall. So I realized the only way I was gonna get a chance to listen to Roderick's CD was if I snuck it out of the house this morning after Roderick left. I called Rory and told him to bring his CD player to school. Then I went to Roderick's room and took the CD off his rack. You're not allowed to bring personal music players to school, so we had to wait to use it until after lunch when the teachers let us outside. As soon as we got the chance, me and Rolly snuck around the back of the school and loaded up Roderick's CD, but Rolly forgot to batteries in his CD player, so it was pretty much worthless. Then I came up with this great idea for a game. The object was to put the headphones on your head and then try to shake them up without using your hands. The winner was whoever could shake the headphones off in the shortest amount of time. I had the record 7.5 seconds, but I think I might have shook some of my feelings with that one. Right in the middle of our game, Miss Carey came around the corner and caught us red-handed. She took the music player away from me and started chewing us out. But I think she had the wrong idea about we were doing it back there. She started telling us how rock and roll is evil and how it's going to ruin our brains. I was going to tell her that there isn't any better in the CD player, but I just could tell she didn't want to be interrupted. So I just waited until she was done.
뜨거. 하나 더. 밥이 차가웠어. 국물만. 알았어, 국물만 먹어.
I was going to tell her.
그러면은 더 잘 이야기할 수 있어.
So I just waited until she was done, and then I said, "Yes, ma'am." Alright, when Miss Carey was about to let us go, we really started bubbling about how he doesn't want rock and roll to ruin his brains. Honestly, sometimes I don't know about that boy. Friday, well, now I'm gone and done. Last night, after everyone was in bed, I snuck downstairs to listen to Roderick sitting on the stereo in the family room. I put Roderick's new headphones on and cranked up the volume really high, and I hit play. First, let me just say I can definitely understand why they put that apparently warning sticker on the CD, but I only got to hear about 30 seconds of the first time before I got interrupted. It turns out I didn't have the headphone plugged into the stereo, so that music was actually coming through the speakers, not the headphones. Dad marched me up to my room and shut the door behind him, and then he said, "Let's you and me have a talk, friend." Whenever Dad says "friend" that way, you know you're in trouble. The first time Dad ever said "friend" like that to me, I didn't get that we was being so stressed. So I kind of let my guard down. Friend equals good. I don't make that mistake anymore. Tonight, Dad yelled at me for about 10 minutes, and then I guess he decided he'd rather in being that than standing in my room in his underwear. He told me I was grounded from playing video games for 2 weeks, which is about I expected. I guess I should be glad that's all he did. The good thing about that is that when he gets mad, he cools off real quick and then it's over. Usually if you mess up in front of Dad, he just throws whatever he's going in his hand at you. Good time to screw up. Kick. Bad time to screw up. Mom has a totally different style when it comes to punishment. If you mess up and Mom catches you, the first thing she does is to take a few days to figure out what your punishment will be. And while you're waiting, you do all these nice things to try to get off easier. I just dusted the dining room for the heck of it. How thoughtful of you. But then, after a few days, right when you forget you're in trouble, that's when she lays on you. Are you having fun? No video games for a week. Yeah. Monday, this video game ban is a whole lot further than I thought it would be. But at least I'm not the only one in the family who's in trouble. Roderick's in some hot water with Rom right now too. Manny got a hold of one of rather heavy metal magnets, and one of the pages had a picture of a woman with a blinking eye across a hood of a car. And then Manny brought it into daycare for show and tell. Anyway, I don't think Mom was too happy about getting that phone call. I saw the magnets myself, and it honestly wasn't anything to get worked up over. But Mom doesn't allow that kind of stuff in the house. Roderick's punishment was that he had to answer a budget question Mom wrote out for him. Did owning this magnet make you a little person? No. Did it make you more popular at school? No. Now, do you have any over this type of emergency now? I feel ashamed. Do you have anything you want to say to women for having allowed this emergency mechanism? I'm sorry, woman. Wednesday, I'm still grounded from playing video games, so many have been using my system. Mom went out and bought a whole bunch of action video games, and watching Manny play them is like torture. What number comes after 2 and rhymes with 3? 3. 3. The good news is that I finally figured out how to get some of my game's passwords that I just put one of my disc Manny's discovering the alphabet case, and that's all it takes. Thursday at school. Today they announced that students' government elections are coming up. To be honest with you, I've never had any interest in students' government, but when I started thinking about it, I realized getting a lecture treasurer who would totally change my solution at school. We're cheerleaders are tired of riding 2 games in the same bus as the nerds in the band. Let me see what I can do. And even better, we are jocks just need an air pump to inflate our only football. Yeah, sorry, can't help you with that. Nobody ever thinks about running the treasurer, but because anyone else never cares about the big ticket portions, the president, the vice president. So I figure if I sign up tomorrow, the treasurer job is pretty much mine for the taking. Friday. Today I went and put my name on the list to run the treasurer. Unfortunately, the kid named Marty Porter is running for the treasurer too, and he's really brilliant at math, so this might not be as easy as I thought. I told Dad I was running for student government, and he seemed pretty excited. It turns out he ran for student government when he was my age, and he actually won. Dad dug through some old boxes in the basement and found one of his campaign posters and turned it on his know-how. Vote Frank Heffley for security. I thought the poster idea was pretty good, so I asked Dad to drive me up to the store to get some supplies. I loaded up on poster board and markers, and I spent the rest of the night making all my campine stuff. So let's just hope these posters work. Monday, I brought my posters in the school today, and I have to say they came out pretty good. Do you want Matthew Potter to be treasurer? Duh. Hey, you're dropping all your money, you fool. Remember in the second grade how Matthew Potter had lied? It's just, do you really want him touching your money? I started hanging my poster up as soon as I got in, but they were only up for about 3 minutes before Vice Principal Roy spotted them. Miss Roy said you weren't allowed to write information about the other concerns, so I was true. I told Miss Roy that the thing about the headlights was true and how it particularly closed down the whole school when it happened. But he took down all my posters anyway. So today, Mary Potter was going around handing out lollipops to buy himself while my posters were sitting at the bottom of Mr. Roy's trash can. I guess this means my political career is obviously over.